welcome. It's finally to another Workshop Wednesday, casual conversations for serious workflows being brought to you by schoolofbookkeeping.com, where you can keep learning QuickBooks your way. Sorry for the unannounced hiatus. We did have some family issues that we need, and client issues, and all sorts of issues that we needed to take care of, and they occurred during our normally scheduled time, so we just didn't do the workshop.
Nope.
So
It is what it is.
what it is. So we appreciate you bearing with us while we did that. And I did want to point out that this is our last broadcast of the Workshop Wednesday. We are still going to do the Workshop Wednesday. It is just going to be tucked inside schoolofbookkeeping.com. So if you go to, I'm going to share my screen here real quick here we got a lot to talk about today. On our webpage for Workshop Wednesday, there is a little video there explaining what is happening. But one of the things that you can do there is I've embedded this agenda.
Oh, cool.
So you'll see the upcoming topics. And if you have a Google Calendar and you want to add it to your calendar, you can do that here. It should, and I tested it out, and it might work.
That's not very
it should
confident.
It should put the topic on your calendar, and it should give you the join link, right? So you should be able to just add it to your calendar if you see a topic, or if you see you see a workshop topic that interests you. You can just add it to your calendar and join. Now you can join School of Bookkeeping for free to have access to the Workshop Wednesdays. There's a button down here to join in, or if you're a paid member, you can start a free trial. All of those will be available. The issue, or the thing is, you just need a login, to get to the workshop. And once you're registered or once it's part of your library, you'll get announcements when we do go live. So if you forget to put it on your calendar, you'll get announcements that we are live, and there'll be ways to join in that way as well. Hopefully this will go swimmingly. Who knows? Anytime that you change any kind of technology, there's always fun surprises waiting for you. So,
don't I know it?
Now, we aren't going to be doing the workshop next week because both Rachel and I will be at Scaling New Heights. So we'll be partaking of all of the cool things that Scaling New Heights has to offer in Orlando in the summer, which is always a fun time. Either we're going to have a dumping of rain or hot and humid.
We're pretty much inside the whole entire time.
Right. Thank goodness the air conditioning works. So we'll be having time there. I wanted to put the QR code there for the workshop access. So if you don't already have access to it, you can get to this page and get some free access to the workshop, so that you get notified when we do go live. Not this week, because the schedule here says no. Nothing on the 24th, but on the 1st, we'll be talking about the pricing changes in QuickBooks Payroll. So, QuickBooks Workforce, because there's a naming change on top of the pricing change. So, I guess that costs more to change the name. So that's that. Now, moving on to our final. Let me stop the share here. Moving on to our final topic of this series that we've been doing about the new user interface inside of QuickBooks. So we're going to be talking today about navigation power-ups, right? So some of the things that we've found that help with dealing with the changes to navigation. So we'll be talking first about the desktop app then we'll be talking about RightTool, and then we'll talk about some
Yay!
shortcuts. So, Rachel, you're a big fan of RightTool.
I can't live without it.
Yeah, thankfully for Mark and Hector coming up with this solution to help the accounting community and QuickBooks users at large to be able to streamline and, as Hector says, save precious seconds.
Yeah, gotta save those seconds. But that's so him. But I even asked a question once in the Power Users group, Facebook group. I said, if you could pick one app that you had to have for the rest of your life above all other apps, what would it be? And I said, mine's RightTool. And some people agreed. A few people agreed, because you can't. I like to say, if I'm not using RightTool, I'm like, where the heck is it?
Exactly. And as we'll be talking about the differences here between the desktop app and RightTool, unfortunately, they can't coexist. And
yeah,
you can't have RightTool in the desktop app.
I don't even know. You can get into this, but I don't even know if the desktop app is available on a Mac, because I use a Mac.
It is.
And okay. I've never used that, so I really don't know much about it.
So let's just jump into it here. Of course, now there's no internet connection, and I need to refresh, because I did change my network that I was on, so QuickBooks forgot. So when you're in your QuickBooks Online, if you navigate or hover over the gear and go to under settings, there's going to be a link there for get the desktop app. Now, you won't see this if you're not using advanced, but you can always just Google the desktop app, and it'll take you to the download place. But if you click on get the desktop app, assuming it recognized my clicking, there it is. It will take you to the ability to download it, and you can download it for Windows or download it for Mac, depending on what operating system or computer type you're using. Once you've downloaded and installed it, one of the cool things about it, especially for those desktop migrators who have come from desktop and into QuickBooks Online, that is a huge learning curve, right? To be able to readjust themselves to a new user interface, because what are all these things in here? The left side navigator.
And a lot of those desktop users are experts, and they don't really love switching to QuickBooks Online.
Right, because I mean, at least if it comes up to this, they can I know the navigator, right?
Yeah.
So I can navigate around. I can fumble my way around, right? But up here at the top, and it's really hard to see, especially because I have our logo over it. So let me go ahead and remove that. There we go. Oh, stop it. Poke it in the eye.
You can't. It just keeps coming back.
All right. Well, maybe I have. Oh, no, I just deleted the whole thing.
Oh, boy.
All right. There it is. Okay, it's gone. There is a toggle switch here at the top called Desktop View, which when you toggle it, it then turns the user interface very similar to what people are used to inside of the desktop, right?
What?
So now,
you mean this? I mean, you're in the desktop app right now.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know it did that. That's so cool.
Yeah. Right. That's why we do these things, so people can know that these things are actually there, and this is free, right? The desktop app is not. There's no cost for the application. The cool part about it, right, is that the challenge that you have with any SaaS service is occasionally there will be browsing hiccups.
Yeah.
Right, where if you call into Intuit or you ask a community, hey, QuickBooks is acting funky, anytime that you throw the word weird and QuickBooks Online in the same sentence, the prime suspect, the usual suspect is, you've got some temporary internet files or cookies that you need to get rid of. Well, if you delete your temporary internet files and cookies for all of your website data in your browser just to placate QuickBooks, that could have an impact on everything else that you browse on the internet. You might need
Yeah,
to,
true. I just did that yesterday actually for another app, and now I'm having issues with my Google login because I deleted all my cache and cookies.
Exactly. So what this desktop allows you to do is this basically, in the simplest terms, it is a web browser just for QuickBooks Online, right? So it will separate and segregate all of your QuickBooks Online browsing and keep that out of your browser, right? So if you do need to clear your temporary internet files because QuickBooks is behaving funky, then you're just doing it for QuickBooks, and it's not interfering with any of your other browsing experiences, right? And one of the other things that people appreciate about the desktop app is now, because it is a desktop component on your computer, you get menus. And a lot of times people like to use menus across the top, which you don't get in a web browser. I mean, if you do get menus in a web browser, but it's the browser, not QuickBooks, right? So you have a customer menu, you have a vendor menu, you have employees, banking, remotes or reports, and help, right? So you can customize your own experience in this desktop view by creating your own shortcuts, things that you're commonly using inside of QuickBooks. You can add them to this sidebar, and then when you're comfortable navigating around and a quick view. One of the things under the help menu, apping browsing experiences that are less than optimal. I'm trying to be very, very, very political here. That you're gracious in the quirkiness of QuickBooks. If you did need to clear your temporary internet files just to see if there's a challenge, you can just do that from the help menu and reset app data, and that does not interfere with any of your other browsing experiences, right? So
I'm actually downloading the desktop app right now for the Mac, just because I've had a lot of issues, and I would like to try a different alternative. But you said I can't use RightTool.
Right.
So we'll see. I'll play around with both versions, and we'll kind of see. I like the option of
it has a need, right? Like
goofing with my browser, yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately, if you needed RightTool, then you just got to log in to the website, which you can do just to do that utility or whatever that happens to be. But it's because RightTool is not technically an app; it's a browser extension. You do need it in a browser, right? And this is not a browser; it is a application, right? One of the other things, especially for accounting professionals, that is really nice is that you can open up any number of companies in the desktop app, and it will create a tab for each of those companies, right? And then as you add or as you browse within those companies will have sub tabs under each of the company tabs, right? So you can be in multiple companies at the same time and multiple pages at the same time within those companies, right? So that is another nice function of the desktop app. Now, it's not perfect, right? I mean, because if you're using, like you said, if you're using RightTool, you miss out on that. And then anytime that QuickBooks needs to communicate with the computer, right? Like printing, right? Like if you're printing checks, that opens the door for an obstacle, right? Maybe the print check, the check printer is not aligned right, or anything like that. So you do have those types of issues that could potentially occur when using the desktop app. But it keeps you signed in for up to 6 months, right? So when
pretty cool.
When you're logging in to when you're launching it, it just automatically logs you in. right?
Now,
Because
Dan,
it is,
sorry to interrupt you, but can I ask you a question before you get further along with that?
yeah,
I thought I was downloading the desktop app, but it turned out it was just the phone app, and it said this is not for the Mac computer. So
oh,
now in the Mac App Store, it's not there. So how would I get it
yeah,
for the Mac?
yeah. Just go to the gear inside of QuickBooks, and then you'll have this option under settings
Oh,
to get the
perfect.
desktop app. Log into QuickBooks
Kiddo.
Online first, and then you can download the desktop app from there, or just Googling, desktop app for QuickBooks. That will take you to the Intuit article where you can download it as
Okay,
well.
perfect. Yeah, so don't look on it. Don't look on the Mac App
Yeah.
Store, people. That will not yield the right result. And by the way, I just came across something which I thought was really interesting. There is not a Intuit QuickBooks app in there, but there is a oh, now it just went away. There was a Quick Accounts Books app.
Oh,
It was like such an obvious ripoff of QuickBooks. It was really
wow.
funny. But yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, there's a lot of pretenders out there.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty funny.
Playing whack-a-mole sometimes with trying to get rid of those. But that's one way that you can get more accustomed to working inside of QuickBooks. I was a big fan of menus in the desktop.
Me too.
Because they don't change, right? They're static, they remain the same. So regardless of whatever shenanigans that Intuit is doing with its user interface, you can kind of use the menus as a old faithful.
Yeah, and then another thing, Dan, is that I've used other accounting softwares in the past, several other ones, and they all have this menus format. So for other people that are maybe coming from Microsoft Great Plains or things like that, it's can ease them into QuickBooks Online without having to use the entire web-based interface.
Exactly. And of course it doesn't interfere with your regular browsing experience. You don't have to create a specific profile in Chrome or something like that to keep QuickBooks separated or segregated.
Yeah. Or try and log in through incognito if there's trouble. There's a whole thing you got to go through sometimes.
It's a good standby to have as a plan B, C, or maybe it's plan A, and then you use the browser as plan B, right?
Yeah.
Because as you astutely mentioned, you don't get RightTool in the desktop app, right? So you have to have RightTool installed in a web browser. And from my understanding, Chrome and Edge are the two browsers that are supported.
Yes.
Which
actually, I didn't even know Edge. I thought it was just Chrome.
Yeah, it's the two. But essentially, it is a Chrome extension that sits over top of QuickBooks and adds more functionality to your QuickBooks, right? And there is a free version, and then there is a pro paid version. I finally just bit the bullet and paid for the pro version because I had a need for it.
Yeah, you've got to have the pro version, especially if you do any kind of cleanup for clients. You have to have the pro version. I don't know if you do that, Dan, but there's a ton of other features that are in the pro version that are just so beneficial.
Yeah, what's your favorite? Because you've been using it for a while.
Yeah, a few years now. I like the batch function in the registers. So in the chart of accounts, a lot of the accounts have an associated sub ledger / register. And so if you go to the register for, let's say, a bank account, let's say you're doing a cleanup. We work in e-commerce, so we use a lot of import tools, especially if we're bringing in some historical stuff. And so a lot of times there's things that need to be batch deleted. And so so you can see that right there. This isn't really a great example because this just has 2 lines on the register, but you could have a register 14 pages long. And it basically, if you don't have RightTool, there's not a way for you to grab all of the items in one batch like that and delete or edit or update or anything. And this allows you to do that. So for example, just yesterday, I was installing A2X for a new client, and they had kind of a funky situation in which I imported everything from January 1st to current day. But because they kind of had a weird app going on in Shopify, it kind of duplicated the Shopify sales transactions. And so when I looked at it, I went, oh, that's really weird. I need to delete those out and redo it because now I see what I need to do. And what would have been a go into the individual one, click it and delete it, go back out, go into the individual one, click it and delete it, and taken me hours. I can now select all, hit delete, and it just in a minute wipes out the whole thing. And then I went back in there and I actually selected the ones I want and then re-imported it. So for rebuilding books or, importing historical and realizing, maybe you goofed up and you need to redo it, or even you need to make an edit to all of those, you can even change the general ledger to what it points to. You can change it in there like that. Reconcile status. Let's say, for example, you did a conversion from QuickBooks Desktop into QuickBooks Online, and it was all reconciled in QuickBooks Desktop, but for whatever reason, you need it unreconciled in QuickBooks Online. In other words, you need all the little R's removed, so that way you can go in and manipulate the data however you need to. You can batch update the reconcile status instead of clicking on the thing, deleting the R, clicking on the thing, deleting the R. There's all kinds of old, manual ways we would have to do it that just took forever. And so this is really a time saver for me.
Yeah. I mean, this one of the source account moved to another register, when things get put into the wrong register, being able to just move them in bulk.
Yeah. And like, for example, if you're working in a clearing account or something and you're like, oh, shoot, I didn't want these all to go here. They need to go somewhere else. You can grab them all, move them in one fell swoop. So it's really nice.
So with just a point to point out here, anytime that you see this maroon inside of your QuickBooks, that is an indication that is a RightTool function, right? Because if you're wondering, well, why don't I see any of these things?
And you and I have even made that mistake here several times where I'm like, you're demoing like a view of something, and I'm like, I think that's RightTool doing that. It doesn't come native in QBO.
So it sits over top of the browsing experience, and then allows you to do a lot of these things that you would have to do manually, one by one, in a group or in a bulk, in a batch, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I was showing up here while you were talking here. We are going to be having at School of Bookkeeping mid-July. So starting the 13th of July, we will be having 4 live cohort sessions where we will be talking about making batch or bulk entries. And the things that you can do in RightTool are going to be one of those sessions, right? So Hector and Mark over at RightTool have been gracious enough to provide us with a promo code, a coupon that will give you $15 off monthly for that first year. And in doing so, if you do that through our promo code, you will get a $50 off the cohort, right? So the cohort itself is $297 for the 4 sessions. And we have, some other utilities that we're going to be talking about with Sassant Desktop and online. If you order or purchase those through our referral link, that will give you a promo code to use for the cohorts, right? So you can, get a discount on the paid cohort that we're going to be having in July. So you can check that out as well. So we've got that's where the QR code will tell you these are the dates of the live sessions. And then if you do get those options through us, which I thought they were here, but oh yes, the links are here. Then you'll be able to get a promo code for the cohort, which will discount get up to $150 off if you use it through our links. Sorry, if you already have it, you don't get a discount. So the whole idea is so that you can utilize these utilities and tools to clean up, to keep up, right? That's the whole idea, right? So back to where are we? There we go. Okay, so one of the really nice things of even the free version is this shortcuts, right? So get rid of this guy here. That the shortcuts here, you can basically create your own bookmarks, right? Because creating bookmarks is a way for you to standardize how you get around inside of QuickBooks, right? So challenge for accountants is you can create any page as a bookmark on your client, but you got to do that for all of your clients, right? So if you have 100 clients in your firm, that's a lot of clicking, and so much for wasting precious seconds because you have to go in and create your own bookmarks on each particular client, and that's a nuisance, right? So with RightTool, even the free version, you can create your own bookmarks and star them. This one here, the top 10, you can essentially use a keyboard shortcut to get to them without even navigating to this sidebar, right? So you can consolidate conserve the real estate by collapsing, both sides. You don't have the left navigator bar or the right tool navigator bar. Gives you more space to work with, and then just create your own hotkeys to be able to do that. Now, QuickBooks has its own hotkeys listed in there. So if you press Control Option on a Mac or Alt on a Windows machine and the question mark key, that will bring up this window, and you can see all of the general keyboard shortcuts, bank transaction shortcuts, transaction forms. So if you wanted to change the date, where is it?
The problem is I never even remember Control Option question mark, and I'm always asking you, what's that shortcut?
What is that keyboard again? There is a place there to do like, where is it now? They've added so many, I don't even know. So there's a client switcher for accountants. Open the client notes drawer for accountants, but I was looking for the date, right? Like if you do, where do they hide it now? I'm looking for it here. I think they even removed them.
Yeah,
there we go.
Who knows what they do?
Yeah. So like there's open and new, open the settings menu, right? So there's all sorts of keyboard shortcuts that when you forget them, so the only thing to remember is Control, Option, and question mark, and that will bring up.
That'll bring it up. But I actually just put a Post-it on my on my monitor just so I would have that, because I can't even remember Control, Option, question mark. But again, I predominantly use RightTool, which, by the way, I don't know if you explained, it's really just they came up with a efficient shortcut destination for the stuff that was hard to find, or a more efficient, quicker, faster way to bring up the things that you might need rather than clicking around in QuickBooks Online. So they just thought, like, what else does QuickBooks need? And let's just come up with a shortcut for it.
Exactly.
Which is really great. I'm glad that they did that.
And and there's a lot of things that they're adding to it. Like the reason that I decided to bite the bullet is I needed I did a conversion for a client from desktop to online, and they had custom fields. They had like 12 custom fields under each customer, right? And what ultimately happened is that it added the custom fields and it populated the custom fields, but only for projects because projects to QuickBooks Online is different than customer jobs in desktop. So it felt like they were two separate custom fields. And so it only populated one of them. They only had, and they weren't using projects to begin with, but all of their jobs or sub customers came over as projects, and subsequently the 25 projects got the custom fields, but the 700 customers that had it populated did not, right?
Got it.
So there's no third-party application yet that will update those custom fields, except RightTool Pro.
Good. Well, I mean, that's kind of a pittance to pay to be able to have that capability.
And some of the other cool things that I discovered that it can do is, let's go back over here. If you're on, while I was in there playing around with it, right, when you're in the customer list here, where'd they go? Clients and leads. Right, you've got this batch edit customers. A lot of things that you can do is, let's just choose a couple customers. What are your options? You can find and replace the display name.
Oh my gosh, I haven't even looked at this yet. This is so awesome.
You can switch the display name, right? So switching the display name to company name or first and last name, right? So if you want your customers to be consistent, but you want to see the company name versus the contact name, you can switch that in bulk. This is what I bought it for, was this change custom fields, because it will allow you to select a bunch of customers and then update that custom field. Now, you do need to have some kind of commonality between those customers, right? So if it works best for custom fields that are drop downs, right? So if you have like, entity type, right? Like if it's a sole proprietor or partnership, where you have like a drop down, that works best. But if you have like a custom field where it's different for each customer, that's really not going to be helpful, because you do have to go through and select those customers first, right? In order to do that, right? But you can update the payment terms, the tax exempt status.
That's a really big, important one.
Right. So, and even the casing, right? Where, somebody went through and had a caps lock on for the customer names. They're yelling their customers.
Yeah.
Right. And you want them to do it, capital case, right? And so capital letter and lowercase for the rest of them. You can do that here with RightTool, and that's just the customers. And you can do the same thing for vendors, so on and so forth, right? So that was a huge win for me, because this is the only application or extension or add-on to QuickBooks Online that will allow you to customize or work within the custom fields. So if you have a whole bunch of transactions that don't have the custom field populated on it, you can use RightTool to add those custom fields to your transactions, right? So big fan.
It's really incredible.
And I love the free version, but now this is like,
yeah, I mean, and
Princess Jasmine, I've been shown a whole new world here.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just like drop in the bucket for all of the incredible things that the paid version can do. It's so expansive that they have, I don't know, like once a month, maybe even, they've got webinars to introduce new stuff, show people how it works. Excuse me. It's really, they do a really, really good job of keeping people updated on how to use all the features. I'm just really bad at keeping up with the webinars. If I did, I would probably be an expert user of RightTool, but it's really cool.
And now they have a certification program, so you can get certified.
Oh, neat.
In RightTool. Well, so just another thing that you can add to your email signature.
Yeah.
Proving your competence to your client. But there's all sorts of options in here, and they've because Hector is really good about making videos for QuickBooks. He and Mark have embedded their videos inside of the settings.
Oh, that's neat. Did they have that before?
Yeah. You just have to hover over and click on the little eye.
Oh my gosh.
Icon, and then you get the tutorial of that particular feature. I
need more than 24 hours in a day.
Right. It's because you don't have enough precious seconds saved to watch to experience all these things. Right. So I had a whole outline that somehow went away, and so I don't know what else I wanted to talk about.
Well, you had mentioned that there are some other add-ons, not just RightTool, but another one maybe.
Well, for navigation, power-ups, those were the two ones that we wanted to talk about today.
What was the first one that we brought up?
The desktop app.
Oh, desktop app. Yeah. Okay,
the desktop app and RightTool.
And RightTool.
Those are the apps or the add-ons that were kind of power up. And then, of course, you have the keyboard shortcuts and bookmarking in and of itself. You have the bookmarks with RightTool within RightTool. You have bookmarks within QBO, and then you also have your own bookmarks in the browser that you can make and categorize. Right. So there are some hidden URLs that you can't navigate to. Bookmarking those is a good idea, like purging the company or the manage billable expenses. Those are things that you can't necessarily browse to or find. But once you find them, if you bookmark them, then you can get to them straightforward and very easily. And you can do that with RightTool or your browser or any bookmark that you inside of QuickBooks as well. So I think that's it for today. We covered a lot of ground there. So one last time here, let's throw up the workshop access, because this will be our last broadcasted live out on the interwebs version of the workshop Wednesday. Let me hide my screen here. So we appreciate you joining us for our last broadcasted one, and hopefully you'll join us on the inside of School of Bookkeeping when we go live in 2 weeks, talking about the pricing changes of QuickBooks Online Payroll / Workforce, whatever we're going to be calling it moving forward. But I'm sure they're going to want us to call it Workforce.
Yes.
All right. We will see you next time on the workshop, and hope you all have a great day.